Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Guhuza Sunday Night Live. For everyone joining us tonight for the first time, this is where we have real conversations about hiring, the job market, and the experiences of people trying to build their careers. We speak with job seekers, emerging professionals, employers, and people working in different industries. The goal is to go beyond the resume and hear directly from the person. Tonight's conversation is especially meaningful because our guest has also been working with us at Guhuza as an intern. Rajkumar Ramu, who goes by Raj, is graduating from Humber's Business Insights and Analytics program during his internship with Guhuza. He also had the opportunity to apply his education in the working environment and build practical experience. Raj, welcome to Sunday Night Live. Let's start by
Thank
giving
you.
everyone an opportunity to get to know you. So, could you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your background, and share what
Mm.
led you to study business insights and analytics?
Thank you very much, Mark, again for having me at Guhuza. It's been a fun time so far. For the people watching, hello, this is Rajkumar, born and raised Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. A little bit about myself. I'm a good judge of character. I'm gonna throw it out there. You know, I don't know what you get through it, but I said it. I do love math and science. I love sports, especially football. I'm a big fan of Cristiano Ronaldo. Shout out to all the Cristiano Ronaldo fans out there. So yeah, coming back to the career part of my journey, I did my UG, which was 4 year on a bachelor's of engineering, especially electronics and communication engineering. So it was a 4 year course, as I said before. I completed, I think, a little earlier, around early 2023. And after that, I went on to an hiatus for 1 year. Basically, I didn't have a job, to be honest. After that, I think around 2024, mid 2024, I got a call from my aunt. She said me, why not go study abroad? You might gain some new experience. I said, just, why not? On a whim. I didn't really plan for all this happening to me, but I just took it and here I am. I finished my 2 year course on business insights and analytics. I completed it successfully. Woohoo! Yeah, let's go.
Looking at it, a strong data analyst is not only someone who knows how to use the tools, they also need to understand the question behind the data
Mhm.
and communicate their findings to people who may not have a technical background. Education gives you the foundation, but there's a difference
Yeah.
between completing a classroom assignment and
Mhm.
contributing in a working environment. And
Yeah,
you've
there's
learned
like
that through your time.
yeah, like experience is different than getting a knowledge through studying and all that. Experience is
Exactly.
always like one level above, uh,
And this is
studying.
one of the reasons internships are so important.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
allow emerging professionals like yourself to work with real
Mhm.
expectations, manage their time, communicate with a team, receive feedback, and understand how their work connects to a larger organization. So, Raj, we have had the opportunity to see you develop during your time with us at Guhuza. What have you been working on during your internship at Guhuza, and how has this experience helped you develop professionally?
Well, as you can guess, I was working with the data team, most of the time, I believe so. Usually, as I said, visuals are a very important part of the data side. So, I think any data analyst should know how to, incorporate data into visuals and then should be able to read through it. So, I think that's like, before coming to Go, so before doing all of my internship, through Guhuza, let's say I was like level 5 at doing visuals. I used Power BI. I learned Power BI during the course, the 2 year course I did at the college, but I was not really familiar with the tools. But after joining here and after working on like let's say 4 or 5 projects, and I'm at level 20. So it's not professional yet, but it's still an improvement. So I'm getting there.
It's
Yeah,
really the practical experience that matters at
yeah,
the end of the
exactly.
day. And an
Mm-hmm.
internship helps turn what someone has learned into examples that they can discuss with an employer, for
Exactly.
example. It also teaches you things that are
Hmm.
difficult to learn from a textbook, such
Exactly.
as how to ask for clarification, respond to
Hmm.
feedback, manage changing priorities, and communicate your progress. So,
Hmm.
is there anything, is there anything, is there an assignment, a particular assignment, challenge, or moment during your internship that gave you more confidence in your abilities?
Surprisingly enough, the presentation part,
The
always
present.
it's a struggle. Yeah, as an immigrant myself, like it's gonna be a struggle to like convey your thoughts in English here in Canada. So especially because not a lot of people have the experience. So it's always a difficult thing to present and convey whatever you wanted to say and make sure that like the people listening to you are understanding what you're saying. So that's like the important part. I think that like I learned a lot through the presentations and I'm constantly improving even as we speak right now. So
I think that's a very valuable example right there
yeah,
because employers want to know more
exactly.
than whether you can complete a task. They want to understand how you approach it, what you learned, and
Mm-hmm.
how you developed through the experience. And I think that's a very good way to show what you
Mm-hmm.
did develop. And
Yeah.
now that you are preparing to move forward from a student and an intern into the next stage of your career, the transition is not always simple. You know that, I
Yeah,
know
it's
that, we
not.
all know that,
Yeah, we all
especially
know
in this
that.
market. It's a lot of
Uh,
recent grads see positions described as entry level, but the employer may still ask for several years of experience. Candidates can
mhm.
have strong education, relevant projects, and internship experience, but still
Mhm.
wonder whether employers will give them the opportunity to prove themselves. So, as a student preparing to graduate, what has your job search been like, and what has been the most challenging part of trying to enter the data analytics field?
Well, coming to the job search part, as you said, like it's always going to be difficult no matter what you are. Like, I've seen people with like 15 years of experience struggle to get a job. Like that's how bad it is right now. I don't know. People are saying that it's improving a little bit, from the COVID era, but I'm not sure how much of an improvement there is, but we're getting there. So, for me personally, it's been like on the lower side of things when it comes to job search. But for me, the other important aspect would be connections, networking. As you said, like it's very important part of job search. Like we always said that like the 2 p.m. meetings that we have at Guhuza, it's always going to be talking about connection, the networking, and all that. So the two internships that I got was both through connections and having a conversation with people. So, and that's been a key part in my journey so far. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
That would you say is probably the best thing to
Yeah.
do, you know?
Yeah, I think personally, yeah, well, people have different opinions because, it's people. At the end
I
of the
think
day, yeah,
many
go ahead.
people will understand that
Mm-hmm.
experience, you know. A lot of people, even myself, I got my first experience through talking to people, networking. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of uncertainty in a job, and it really is
Mm-hmm.
proof over promises. So you want to mention anything about the proof, like how you are able to be a good problem solver? What examples do you have of
Mm-hmm.
that? And we mention this all the time on the Thursdays, proof over promises.
Yes. I think the more you practice, 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 practice again, it's not gonna come just like that, right? So you're gonna wanna practice, anything from simple things like let's say that uh, you're going to shopping and then came back after shopping and then you realize that you forgot something to buy and then so what you do you write the list next time so you can write down all the things that you require and then go shopping again and you'll never forget again so simple things like that so it starts from always simple things. So from there, you can always go and practice, like, take turns with the difficulty thing, and then you can climb from there. So, that's how you learn. The more you see, the more you learn.
Now, do you have any examples of some data projects that you've done in the past that you want to mention to show employers what
Hmm.
you can actually contribute, you know?
Well, the data project that I'm currently doing, the survey project, I get to tackle data from different survey responses, and we figured out through converting data to visuals again. It's a key part. So we figured out that certain questions are not doing as much as they should be doing, as good as they should be doing, but we could replace those questions depending on who we are talking to, like for example, the employers or the employees. So Mark B, if you don't know who I'm talking to, is the president of Guhuza. So he suggested that we kind of keep the survey to a minimum, and then we decided to stick with it. So we decided to choose questions very carefully because we don't want to make the survey too long. So that was one of the goals, and these are generally the stuff that we trying to figure out during this endeavor. So.
And that kind of speaks to how you can work with stakeholders, how you can work with um,
Mm-hmm.
the team, how you could work as a part of an organization. And that's a really good part to speak about right there. I'm glad you
Yeah,
did mention
exactly.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to thank you again, Raj, for being on. This is one of the reasons why we do Sunday Night Live. We want people to hear directly from emerging professionals and understand the person behind the application. A candidate may not have
Mm-hmm.
10 years of experience, but they still
Exactly.
can bring new knowledge, determination, curiosity, and a
Mm-hmm.
different perspective to any organization.
Yep.
And before we close, I want to look beyond the immediate job search. Getting the first opportunity is important, but it is also the beginning of a much longer career. Data analytics will
Mhm.
change always, continuously, especially
Yes,
as
data is
organizations
everywhere.
use
So,
more automation and artificial intelligence. And
hmm
then I guess my final question for you, Raj, would be
hmm
what do you hope to accomplish over the next few years? And what kind of data analyst do you want to become?
Well, if you listen to so far what I've talked about, like you would know that this is what I'm going for. So my end goal, as I said, my long-term goal is something different that I want to achieve. So, but I am in the data side, which I didn't plan for, but I did a very good job, like sticking to it. 2 years, it was not bad. Actually, it was not bad, and I I hope to be someone that I can, I can trust this person to do his job. So, just be confident with my skills and going forward, and then, hope to be the best.
Yeah. Raj, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your
Thank you. Thank
experience.
you. Thank you
It
for
has been
having
a
me.
good, it's been very good to see you develop during your
Mm-hmm.
internship at Guhuza, and I hope
Mm-hmm.
tonight helps employers and
Yeah,
job
it
seekers
definitely
understand
does.
more about your journey. Your experience also represents something important about the job market. Students
Mm-hmm.
and recent graduates need opportunities to apply what they've learned. Internships can help build that bridge, but employers also need to be willing to recognize the potential and consider what someone can become with the right opportunity and support. For job seekers watching, remember that your experience is not limited to a previous job title, projects, internships, volunteer work, academic assignments, and problems you have solved can still help demonstrate your abilities. The important thing is to be able to explain what you did, why you did it,
Yep.
what you learned, and
Mm-hmm.
how that experience can help an employer. If you are currently looking for work and have any questions about applications, resumes, interviews, networking, or employer expectations, we want to invite you guys to join us on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern for Gahuza's job search
Join us,
walkthrough
guys.
and Q&A. It's very good. It's very
It's
good.
very good. Yeah.
Each week we discuss a practical part of the job search and answer questions live. You may be a student preparing to graduate, someone changing careers, or a job seeker who has been applying and not receiving any responses you expected. Whatever stage you're at, you're welcome to join the conversation on LinkedIn Live or on Zoom. The sign up link will be in the description. And that is every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I want to mention that again. So thank you so much for joining us, Raj. And
Thank you
thank you,
again,
everyone,
Mark.
for watching. And we will see you guys next week for Sunday Night Live. Good night and have a great one, everyone.
Bye bye, guys.
Bye, guys.